What's up guys, Goat Rodeo Gaming here, back with another video with Trainz Railroad Simulator 2022. This game isn't out yet, but we got some early access, so we're testing it out, taking a look at it. So right now we're taking a look at the Moffat tunnel route, which comes with this game for free, I believe. At least it was for me with this early access. I downloaded it for free and no issues. So this is based on the Union Pacific's Moffat tunnel route, which is a real route in Colorado. Starts in Denver. So it looks like we have a rendition right here of the UP's Denver yard, or at least one of their main yards in the area. So I like what I see. It comes with this extra content, it seems like, with the GP38s. And then down here it looks like we got some ST60 rebuilds, ST40. So we'll have to see here, but we're just kind of exploring the route today. So you can see there's some container facilities, got the yard. Yeah, so we'll just kind of take a look at what we got here. The scenery and the mapping looks pretty outstanding in my opinion so far, so I'm definitely happy about that. Looks like we got downtown Denver up here. So let's just see what we got going on. Got a roundhouse with looks like a local, some power for a local. Let's come down this direction. Looks like we got the depot for the Santa Fe. The Santa Fe is ready to go. Santa Fe, Amtrak I should say. It's early where I'm at, so I apologize. We got the main lines running south, I believe. Along with this one over here. Is there a portal? It doesn't look like it. But anyways, the city looks pretty great. It looks like a legit downtown. Maybe you could use a little bit more detail, but hey, I dig it. So let's follow this over here a little bit. This looks like we got another yard. UP based. Then we got this subdivision over here, which wraps back around to where we started. So I don't know this area by heart, so I can't comment on the realistic yards or layout of the routes. Got this nice grain mill right here, I like that. I'm sure there's plenty of industries to switch out. Looks like we got a pretty cool industry right here. It's pretty nice. Alright, so let's start heading down this route. So we got triple main track, it looks like. Little siding, not sure what's supposed to be used for what. Pretty short siding. So we'll see what goes on. Looks like we got a split. So let's follow this left-hand track first. Looks like we got a spur. Kind of like that. They made it look like it's not heavily used. And then it runs to that end of the map. So this one over here looks like it'll be the main route that this map features. So let's follow it. Looks like we got a decent grade coming out of here right now. I know this map in real life, or this route I should say, has quite some grades as it goes through the Rockies. It's a huge map. If we zoom out really quick, it just goes and goes and goes. So plenty to do. New map. If you watch my previous video on this game, is my first one testing this new train sim, you'll see that one of my comments is there new equipment? Is there new maps? Is there something that justifies having a new game? Because that's what's important, right? So far, I'm pretty pleased with it. This Moffat tunnel route seems pretty cool. Looks like we're getting up into the mountains now. Looks like we got some industries around here. Got another siding. What I like about this too is it's single track. Most of the time these train simulators, I feel like, kind of take the easy route and use double track routes, which for me it's kind of boring. You want to see some, you want to have a bit of a challenge. So single track is the way to go. Looks like they had some spline issues right here. Not sure what's going on there, but meanwhile, looks like we got a lumber facility. I like this rock quarry. That looks pretty good. So you got a track right there. Now keep in mind I'm not in surveyor mode, so you're not going to see where you can unload or load. I imagine all these are interactive. Not sure why you would have a diamond crossover right here, but they do. But one thing I do like about this game is the detail and the graphics. It's much more realistic looking, which I'm a huge fan of. Let's go back to the main line right here. So I think this is a pretty famous part of the route where it kind of switchbacks up the mountain. I don't know it's by heart, but I've seen some pictures, some videos. The only thing I'll comment is some of these curves don't seem very smooth like they would in real life. I'm sure there was a person that was dedicated to editing this route, laying the track, the mountains, all that. So for me, having these smooth, realistic curves is important. So not to say that it's a failure or whatnot, but just an observation. Looks like we have some stored cars. This might be where they're trying to let's reenact how some of these sidings or spur tracks are used for storage. Got some crossings going off even though there's no train. Got another siding. So now we're really getting up into the mountains. This looks pretty good. You got I believe it's a 70 freeway. No, I think it's just some random highway that comes through here. This would be a challenging map to make for sure, so I'm not trying to throw too much heat at anybody. I like the tunnel. Got a rock face. We got another siding. It's always cool when you have this little scenery when you come through these little towns here in the mountains of the United States. It's a pretty phenomenal scene right here. Kind of running up against the mountains with all these tunnels. I dig that a lot. You can see this route being a lot of fun to do. Looks like a pretty significant tunnel right there. Through the mountains again. Railroading in the U.S., especially the Rockies, you get a lot of this. So far, really think this is a great map. I'm glad that they chose something like this. So we got a siding for the first time in a while due to the tunnels. Got some more. Yeah, this is nice. Got a lake off to the right hand side. Pretty neat. And even the trees, the textures, we got a river down there. Just overall, this looks a lot better than even Trainz A New Era. Seems like in spots, some of the line, the curves, like I was saying, looks a little janky, but that could be worked with. Or even like right here, like you wouldn't have like this super long switch that runs out. You'd have more something like this. So there's a few little things, but pretty pleased with this route so far. I like the setting of these canyons. There's a lot of these canyons up in the mountains where you got farms or little communities with streams and ponds. So that's cool that they kind of captured that here. I think a route that a lot of games have passed up on that would be very popular is the Tennessee Pass, which is been abandoned due to the Union Pacific choosing to use this route solely. The Tennessee Pass was a more direct route to southern Colorado from Grand Junction and the Utah side of things. I think that could be a very popular route to recreate in one of these train simulators. I'd really like to do it myself, actually, for Transport Fever 2, so that might be something I tackle one of these days. We'll see, though. That'd be a huge undertaking. Probably be more difficult than any other route I've ever done, but I'm willing to do it. That's pretty cool. Got an industry right here. It looks like we got the Moffat tunnel right here. That looks cool. That's a cool recreation right there. So let's zoom out, go straight through this giant mountain. Not exactly sure of the specifics of how long the tunnel is. I think it's several miles. But let's see where this line, yeah, see it just cuts straight through. Imagine this. That would be quite the engineering feat back in the day. So it's still going. It looks like it comes out right here. Wow. If this is to scale, or at least in the ballpark of the real thing, that's impressive. Haven't been there myself. Not too sure either the length of the tunnel, but that's pretty outstanding. There's one tunnel I went through in Alaska to get to Whittier, and it was, I think, a 5-mile tunnel, and it's a single road and the railroad runs through it, so you have to share with the trains. Pretty crazy to go through a mountain for 5 miles. So we're back here, got a siding. Must say the scenery looks pretty phenomenal. I don't have my graphics turned up all the way, so keep that in mind. So far, game's running very smooth. I remember when I first bought Trainz A New Era, it was very glitchy. It was not ready to come out. You see something like this, you know, this is a pretty sharp. I'm tired, it's early, I'm sorry. But it's a very sharp curve for a main line. I feel like if you were to bring this spline back a little bit, you can have a nice sweeping curve. Just little things like that that I look out for when I look at these routes. Because that's part of it looking good, it's part of it running good. You know, you want realistic track layouts. We got a nice town here with lots of detail. I like it. Gas stations. Looks like we got a passenger station for Amtrak. And we're kind of out in the valley on the plains, it looks like, here for a bit. It looks like we got a split, maybe, in the rail line, or maybe it just falls back around. some Dash 8s, wide cab I believe this is. Loaded coal train. So I'm guessing that's probably a scenario. Mid-train dupers, DPUs. And then we got some DPUs on the rear as well. So it looks like that's just a split in the track. Meets back up. Come through this canyon. Yeah, this is a really nice canyon. Looks like they got more realistic bridges that come with the game as well, which I like. See, like this right here. I feel like this is a pretty easy fix. I don't know if maybe they rushed it or what, but just things like that. It's not the end of the world, but you know, I look for attention to detail, and I probably have a little bit more attention to detail than most because I used to work for the railroad. It's a nice girder bridge, I believe is what it's called. So just things like that, you know, I appreciate when things look real. And you know, that could cause a derailment if you're overspeeding right there in the game potentially. So got another siding, another kind of valley. I like the different valleys and just the different terrain. All of a sudden you go through kind of like a gorge and then you're back out in the plains. Looks like we got a local up here. One of these videos I'll have to play. There's a local scenario, so we'll have to see how that goes in the future. I'll definitely have to play that. We'll record it. We'll probably do a live stream. Typically I live stream in the afternoons. At night I'm usually hanging out with the wife, so you can look for me anytime afternoon for some live streams. And I'll be bringing some live streams to you from Run 8, Train Simulator, Derail Valley, this game, Transport Fever 2. So, yeah. So at the end of this route, I'll kind of give you a rating, I guess. However, you know, a 10 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 or whatever, how I feel about this. And then I'll kind of explain why I give it whatever rating I do. Looks like we got another industry here. So what's nice is that it's not just a main line. There's plenty of industries to service. So like if you wanted to do a local or a hauler being a train that, let's say, runs from Denver to Grand Junction and then along the way does set-outs and pickups, which you set out cars or pick up cars throughout the route. That would be a fun scenario for this that you could create. Right here, just another example of, you know, laying the track smooth. So there's a spline right here. You could just pull this out a little ways and create a much smoother S-curve. What are these? These are, I don't know what those are. Oh, it's a portal maybe. Okay, so here's where the route ends. This is the portal. Right on. We'll zoom out a bit. We'll kind of go back over it. So I think I'd probably give this route like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. I'm a fan of it. The things I don't like about it is obviously what I've been explaining. Some of the track layouts or routing of the track is kind of janky. I feel like these are things I didn't notice with some of the other maps in the past games. It seemed like them laying the track was pretty good. Let's see, we have this whole area over here as well. I wonder if there is some more track. Nope, those are just the two industries. You can kind of tell whatever they use to make the map as well. They use the circular tool to whether it was paint or the height. Yeah, it's the height. It's kind of overlapped. So yeah, some of the parts of the track could be a lot more realistic. I think the scenery is outstanding. Seems like there's a fair amount of things to do. If I were to compare it to some of the previous maps, though, maybe not as much, but it's a new addition, so I like that. So you can deliver here potentially. And hey, it comes with some content, it seems like. So I'm a fan of that. It might all be GP38s, but hey, it comes with some content. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a great new addition to the game. I think it will be fun to do. I could see it getting maybe a little bit stale after a while, but it seems like there's some industries to switch out. And obviously you could do some run-through trains. So, yeah, not as an exciting of a video for you guys. This is my first time seeing this route. Just wanted to go over it with you. Comment what you think below. If you like this new addition to the game or not. It should come for free. This game isn't out yet, but it should come for free with it. And there are some scenarios. There's Amtrak that you can run. Like I said, there's a local scenario, so there's several different things you can do. So, yeah, comment what you guys think about this. And make sure to like, subscribe, share. And we will check you in the future. Later.